Okay, we're a minute late today. Sorry. It's my birthday. I slept in. My wife says, "Can't you take a day off?" I said, "No, my public awaits." Uh, well, I know that's not really true, but that's not the point. What is the point? The point is that I like doing it, I guess. Here comes the point
Looks like
is
I'm
that I
streaming.
like doing it, I guess. Okay, there it goes. Now we'll go over to Periscope and we should be able to see your comments. If you decide to comment, I might see. Can't promise. Five, four, three, two, one. I'm John Miglosh for the Wisconsin DMA and the International Society for Strategic Marketing. And I wanted to start off with something a little bit light and airy today. Gave me a little bit of a chuckle. And it turns out that bots are barging into online dating. Now, we all know that Match.com claims to know all about you and to be able to find the perfect match, but I've talked to many people who've tried those things and they said it doesn't seem to take them into account. It doesn't know how to weight them. Okay, so if you're extremely religious, let's say you're extremely conservative, believe that sex belongs in marriage, let's say, and someone else checks the box Christian, that's probably good enough for the AI. Whereas, or maybe put it in another realm, maybe you're a Packers fan and the person says, I like football, but is a Bears fan. There's a lot of subtlety that goes into this, and it's just a little bit like when Amazon, way back in the beginning, gave me a customer survey and asked what kind of books I might like when they were trying to push books to me via email. And I thought to myself, well, I've read hunting books and I've read Christian books. Okay. Well, they didn't have hunting because, that would be heaven help us if you hunt. But they did have nature, I think, outdoor or nature. And they didn't have Christian because that, again, was too narrow. But they did have spiritual. So I clicked nature and spiritual and I got a steady stream of, let's say, Buddhist or Zen oriented nature books. You might say it was the opposite. Now I'm a conservationist, so I would say that that I'm all for nature and I'm for preserving habitat more than even most environmentalists who tend to focus on odd issues that are unsolvable. But, I like restoring swampland when possible. Anyway, so the even if it's a golf course. So the AI hasn't always worked. Well, now you can have a bot that swipes for you. So dating apps are arguably made finding a mate more convenient than ever, but for the truly lazy Lothario who can't be bothered to lift a swiping finger, there may be a solution, a bot. So now the participant can play the game and have the bot look through the pictures and the answers to decide what you would have liked if you would have seen it. Now, of course, the downside, which they point out, is when you do finally get a reply, is it a reply from the person's bot or is it a reply from the person? Maybe your bots are just interested in dating each other. And all of these things raise the issues of bots and AI in a humorous way, but it's not that obvious what what if we're destined to die alone. It's not that obvious how you fix it. So I have not tried any of these things myself. Okay, next up, Visa announced a few days ago that they're going to change the the rates U.S. merchants pay to accept its cards. Now, interchange rates are regulated, highly regulated. So I'm not sure whether they're going to change and the processing fees are set normally by the processor. So I don't know how this is going, but it says up or down depending on the merchant. Now what that is code for is usually is we're going to sock it to the online merchants because they have a higher likelihood of some say fraud, but returns, exchanges, other transactions going along with the payment. The other reason is that consumer adoption of reward credit cards has increased. Okay, and the flock to premium cards. There seems to be little that retailers can do to solve the problem. Now there may be some things, and I'm actually working on. I'm meeting with a credit card processing company tomorrow, and senior management, and we're going to have a conversation about that. So if you're a .com or a cataloger, I'll keep you posted. Just give me a call, write to me, and we'll see what happens. Okay? So lots happening in that area. Buckle up. That's what it usually means. And this one is from, I don't know, it must be, TechCrunch. FTC to examine acquisition by Alphabet. Okay? And every acquisition. This was the interesting part for me. The FTC said that it's going to check every acquisition from 2010 from Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Facebook, and Microsoft. Now, Trump humorously pointed out the other day that Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Apple spell MAGA. Which I just thought was funny because I had never thought of it, and but it's his acronym on that for Make America Great Again. Now Facebook messes that up, which has been in the crosshairs for a while, so I'm not going to comment further on that. But I listened to a fascinating article, lest you think they're actually going to break those guys up, and this was by Tim Cross with a video attached by let's see, who's the video author up
message here.
Oops, he's playing in the background. And he said, Richard Kramer, and he's the founder of Arte, apparently. And he said, oh, here it is, Richard Kramer from Arte. And he said that, basically boiling it down, he said most of the analysts in this industry are sycophants. I always like that word. It has a nice rhythm to it. It means people who are just sucking up to the big data and the big tech trough. But Richard doesn't get paid by the big tech, and so he positions himself as an analyst, a true analyst, and pointed out that he was the only one not recommending you buy Uber. I think it was Uber when it came out, which went down 30% when he said sell it. Or at some point in time, I don't know. I'm not a big stock trader. But he said that the bottom line is that the U.S. makes a lot of money from these companies. He said in ad placement, unlike, say, the New York Stock Exchange. In the New York Stock Exchange, there's billions of dollars, billions of shares, trillions of dollars. But in this ad viewership, there's even more transactions and more viewers that you're trying to buy viewers, right? And Google and Facebook are directing you to viewers. Sometimes well, sometimes poorly. Hard to tell what's going on because you don't know where they're sending them. You don't know who's seeing it. And we've raised that issue numerous times. Again, we're working on a possible digital solution that can still be compatible with Google and Facebook, that could break through that and allow us to do much, much better attribution and much, much, much better digital modeling. So stay tuned for that one. But Richard basically says it's quite a bit of collusion between the big tech and the government regulators, even if the particular people on that task are not part of the of the feed at the trough. So I guess you could say wait and see. And but I was hopeful back in the '90s that Microsoft would get broken up. I was using, first I was using, what was the first one? VisiCalc, and then Lotus 123, and then Symphony, and then I stayed away from Microsoft Excel and went to Borland's product Quattro Pro, and then that morphed into OpenOffice, and so I've stayed away. Excel, when they changed all their menus after Windows 97 or whatever, after OpenOffice or Office 97, I said, well, what's the point? The biggest point of Microsoft was they didn't change their menus, and so people who started with it liked it. But I still don't like those menus, and OpenOffice makes more sense to me, though it doesn't do pivot tables as well. Other than that, it seems to work pretty well. So, all that said, I was hoping that Microsoft would get broken up and there would get more competition in the PC software game, but there really hasn't been. So I support open source in the PC game. Anyway, those are just sort of background news about what's out there today. Like and share. Your friends will think you're smart. Always happy to help heroes understand marketing news. Have a great day. Bye-bye.